Here's the week in review with Indy Cummings in the Queendom. I found a moth. I met some new friends and took pictures of the jewel weed. And the sand before I made a new water garden. And the bee balm is blooming. And we visited the tomato house. And I took pictures of the yard art and found a jumping spider. I think it's pronounced Paraphytopus jumping spiders, right beside my new water garden where I played with rainbows, a damaged but functional swallowtail, and the dayflowers are so cute. And I think the jewel weeds are precious. I studied a couple of Cupido commentas, butterflies flirt with each other. A couple of eastern-tailed blues right there. A swallowtail. The crocosmias this week. And bee balm. Here's a southern cloudy wing. And the swallowtail from the rear, and the brown thrasher, an American lady from different points of view. On Tuesday, we visited Carrollton, and I got to see all the beauty in Mom and Daddy's big backyard, including several butterflies on the Mexican sunflowers, and some frogs and lizards. There are vines over at the Tally house called Chocolate Vine. And back at home, the Mexican sunflowers are still upright, and the butterflies are still enjoying the lantana. And I'm going to Bugguide and asking for scientific names for all of them. And Bugguide is doing me great justice. There's a pair of buckeyes flirting. And here's a new butterfly for me, a silvery checker spot, according to Bugguide. And there's the American lady. And we did have dinner one night. On the porch, we watched a storm pass through. And it toppled all my Mexican sunflowers. The next morning I found a couple of critters hanging out on them, and a tattered butterfly on the lantana, and another swallowtail, the monarch in flight, and its face is beautiful, as is its profile. Here, it swallowed itself in the flower. They're beautiful butterflies, and they have significance because of Journey North and Mark Barton. He studied them and tagged them and let them loose with the kids and raised them. He was a good guy with them butterflies. There's a couple together. And another American lady. High in the sky. A couple of little skippers. And the clouds. On the way to the Cook family farm. I found another jumping spider here on the magnolia. Paraphytopus aurantius on my watch. And I put it back on the magnolia and took pictures of the zinnias. They were covered with long-tailed skippers and other skippers dancing around. And that cloud grew all day. And there's another butterfly. And a long-tailed skipper with another little skipper. There are lots of different kinds of skippers. And that one's got beautiful blue-green azure colors around its back. I'm always trying to get that color in my picture. Submitted to Bugguide. And there was a fine meal right there. And on the butterfly bush, the first sighting of snowberry clearwing moths. A cabbage white right in the middle. There it is. And the long-tailed skipper. Yet another fine summer meal. I harvested catnip one evening. Go figure. And that's what moths look like at night when I'm trying to get pictures with the Sony camera. It's not easy. And that's what it looks like when your hand is shaky and you're not using a tripod. But there's Jupiter. And that's looking east. That's looking southeast. Mahonia root. And more butterflies in my big front yard. Hello. And the monarch in flight. And a swallowtail. Thursday, I got stung on the cheek by a wasp while trying to put the Mexican sunflowers back upright. I decided it wasn't worth that and looked at some sand under the microscope instead. This is from Malta. And I harvested peas. I saw a hummingbird on the Rose of Sharon, and I studied the 4 o'clocks. Creeping Jenny and a new butterfly bush. My house plants look good. And my pickles were yummy. Here's a photo shoot with a milkweed bug. Morning dewdrops on the jewel weed. And my new water garden. The dayflowers, fly butt, and another fly posing on the dayflowers that I got from the little river, along with the jewelweed down there. There's still plenty. Isn't that a pretty picture? And the swallowtail again. And a tiny little leaf hopper. And tons of leaf-footed bugs. And my Gerber daisy. I just can't get enough of all these beautiful butterflies. Deviled eggs remind Newsom of the parish picnics we have. Under a black walnut tree, looking out and above and to our house from my neighbors. This was before a storm threatened. We got a few lightning strikes, a little plant hopper, a cannellonia, and there it is on the pergola post, and a hummingbird in the background. And there she is. The woodchuck. And a rabbit in motion. And a silver-spotted skipper. A long-tailed skipper from the rear. From the side. Lindsay made that mask. And another tall cloud. Fine meal. And a great picture with my mom, and in Carrollton, and French onion soup, and this week's piece de resistance, granola. It'll last me 3 months. There you go.